Welcome, you're watching Kaleidoscope Ceylinco Live News Capsule. If we have more female labour force participation, we can boost our economy by 14%, and that is an addition of $20 billion by 2025. So, what's stopping women from going to work? Senior Research Analyst Econ at Verite Research, Sumini Siyambalapitiya, joined me in the studio for some startling revelations. Now, your research focused on costs incurred by urban women in Sri Lanka, basically the cost of doing a job. Why did you focus on urban women?
The reason that our study looked at costs incurred by urban women is because one, in terms of just practically doing this sort of research study, it just made sense to focus on where the formal labor market was more focused, which was in urban areas. Particularly, we focused on the Western province. But also, this was more of a pilot study, considering the fact that this type of study, where we tried to quantify the monetary and non-monetary costs incurred by women, had not been conducted before.
So, in a quantifiable sense, what were your findings?
So, to put it all very shortly, every 100 rupees that urban women earn in Sri Lanka cost them 160 rupees, which is pretty significant.
So there are no established guidelines or regulations when it comes to the provision of childcare, which I saw in your research was one of the biggest problems that urban women had. But there are countries that have instituted regulations and standards for childcare, Singapore being one. What have been the tangible benefits that Singapore as a country has had because of introducing these things?
So countries like Singapore, what they did right is not just think of this in terms of, oh, we're doing this to benefit women, but how is this an economically smart decision, and how is this a long-term decision to really build our human capital in terms of our future citizens and our future workforce? Starting from that point, they regulated the childcare industry, because one of the main issues that we found, and is generally also an accepted issue worldwide, is that women and families are very hesitant to trust childcare centers. So how do you bridge that trust deficit? And then once you bridge that, how do you make childcare affordable? And when you bridge those issues for families, and you also make sure that quality childcare is made sure that children's development is guaranteed, those are the things that Singapore did. And as a result, like, you see that about almost 65% of Singapore's adult women are in the formal labor market. And this is more than double what Sri Lanka has. Sri Lanka is really poor in this area. We're only 31%, and it's a number that has stagnated for decades now. Their economic success is a result of also a lot of inclusive policies that aren't just, oh, we're being nice to women, but we're really doing this because it's the smart thing to do, and it's what guarantees a successful workforce, both in the future and the present.
To our irreplaceable partners on the show, Skills for Inclusive Growth and Australian Aid, Ceylinco Live, CDB, The Morning Newspaper, Park Street Gourmet and Zip Zip. Thank you. You're awesome. If you like Kaleidoscope, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Ceylinco Life.